my Gemini, oh my gosh, just falling out the first shuffle I do. Wow. Guidance. Okay, so we're just going to jump into the cards. I don't have much to say other than I know you guys are really transitioning, okay? You have had a tumultuous last 6 months, okay? If not last year of your life. There's been a lot of opposing energies. There's been some challenging aspects. And it seems like a lot of you are reconciling with that this month. If you have been feeling out of balance, okay, if you've been feeling restless, which is a Gemini out of alignment, okay, everyone feels this, but when a Gemini feels this, they really feel it. They're impatient, they're driven, they want what they want, and, you know, it's hard for them to maybe plant the seeds and just wait for the harvest, right? They want to reap it right away. They want instant results. But I see this month you're learning so much about yourself and about life. And the way that you have been moving is becoming exhausting. Luckily, and thank goodness, because I have a lot of beautiful, wonderful, valued Geminis in my life. They are so smart. They are so intellectual. They are so capable. But for some reason, your confidence has just been weakened, right? It's not there, right? You have confidence, but maybe you haven't been put in the right environment to really excel, okay? So a lot of you are choosing to leave the environment that you've been in, if you've been in partnership with the wrong people, if you have been in an environment that doesn't include your certain skill sets. You're literally realizing that this month. You're literally realizing that, wow, I was doing this all wrong. I was pushing for something that was so not right for me, or I was putting so much emphasis on this one thing when if I just withdraw or if I just rest for a while, that's when things become more clear. And that's where this guidance card is really coming up, I think, because you are being guided, and in the least desirable way for Gemini. Okay, and I'm going to say this. I pulled quite a few cards beforehand. I always pull my cards before I turn on the camera because I do like to have that silent time, that meditative time, and reflect on the storyline at hand, because there is a story. And it's not only a story that goes through this month of May, but goes far into the past, okay, of why you're reconciling things within yourself and what decisions you've made and what perception have you held and where has it gotten you. And I see a lot of you are not very satisfied with where it's gotten you. So that is a really important thing to pay attention to this month. Guidance. Guidance, guidance. You are being guided. But one of the things that will bother Gemini this month is you're not being guided in the way directly to success, right? Or directly to the outcome of your desire. Your expectations may be a little high, right? Your expectations may be a little restless. You may feel like you could keep pushing and pushing and pushing and get what you want, but the universe is saying that's not actually what you want. We need to reflect. We need to slow down a bit. The guidance card says, release the past to the eternal winds and allow new energies to enter your life. You are a creation that is vast and endless, with no beginning and no end. Allow your life to flow like a river. The spirit of life will guide you and keep you safe. So that's really important, okay? I do offer personal readings. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an energy empath, and my readings will be available on my website. I'll link it in this description box below. And I would love to know what you guys think, if this video resonates with you or not, because it is quite an intense month, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it for you guys. Okay, so this is really telling. Blessing in disguise. This is a truth bomb from the angels, and it's saying It's just validating that the ways in which you're being guided this month are not what meets the eye, okay? What meets the eye is maybe another disappointment, unfortunately. What meets the eye is a radical perception change, something that alters your reality. And then it's the fact of getting to know what is true then, what comes to fruition, what relinquishes itself in the process, and what you're left with afterwards. That is the blessing. Okay, so if something feels like it's being yanked from you this month, or if there's a special delivery that came in a gift wrap box that you didn't necessarily want to receive, know that it's going to be for your best interest, that this is your highest path that you're walking. Geminis are getting a spiritual influx that is unlike any other sign so far. So I just want you guys to know you are special on the radar this month, even if you don't realize it. Blessing in disguise. What appears to be a problem is actually part of your answered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything is resolved. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. Okay, you're getting guidance. You've got to trust. Okay, relinquish some of that urgency, because there is so much urgency I'm picking up from your cards. It's making me feel restless. It's making me feel impatient, like I've put so much hard work in. I need to be validated. I need to have the confidence that I've been lacking, that maybe I haven't had the chance to excel or really express myself or reach my potentials like I thought I would. And Gemini, it's not too late, okay? You're just beginning. You're just beginning, and that's important to know this month. The Four of Earth comes up with a clarity card of Seven of Cups, okay? So the Four of Earth in this deck symbolizes you wanting to sustain some type of structure, maybe working yourself to the bone, okay? Putting so much effort into something that is ultimately unrewarding, okay? Fruitless endeavors. Upright, this would symbolize something that is sturdy, foundational, that you've been working to accomplish, that is going to suit your best interest. Upside down, it means the exact opposite. So the Seven of Cups comes up to clarify that there are too many options. You've been spreading yourself out way too thin. The value of your emotional disposition has slowly dripped into your work, and unfortunately, it's lost its luster, it's lost its happiness, and you have been overwhelmed maybe with the effort that you've had to put in. It's endless. It seems endless. The Seven of Cups comes up in reverse to symbolize that this is meant to be. This is a job well done. That in time, okay, you will begin to see that you did everything you were supposed to do, and maybe you can just chalk this up to a lesson learned. This is revolving around your past as well. So anything regarding past and maybe endeavors that have gone awry or fruitless endeavors, your effort, even though it's being seen right now as a mistake or maybe as a fruitless endeavor, you can guarantee that that's going to be clarified this month. Otherwise, it wouldn't be brought up in the cards. Otherwise, your guides would not be talking about this. There's some kind of a career-oriented feeling in these cards this month that has a deep reflective quality over the choices you've made. And your guides are saying, don't dwell on anything which you deem to be fruitless, which you deem to be a failure. Some of you may be dwelling on this a little bit too much, and it's taking your time and energy away from what will preserve you, what will give you confidence, what will empower you, and that is compassion and trust in the universe. You did make a good decision. You followed your instincts. You followed You followed your intuition, okay? And maybe at that time it was perfect for what you needed to learn. Let's keep going. Perception. Perception comes up in reverse, which is a very powerful card. It's a reason for being in this deck, which speaks of consciousness, self-awareness, perception, perspective, how we view ourselves and the world around us. It's in reverse. So, Gemini, what are you dwelling on that is altering the perception from this beautiful life and all these opportunities and all these lessons you've accrued and is ultimately disempowering you? Geminis are so hard on themselves, right? They're so intellectual. And the thing about Geminis is they'll take their emotions and try to intellectualize them, okay? They filter their emotions through their intellectual capacity, so their perception means a lot. It can mean some heavy things for a Gemini, because that means your filtration system is not right. It's not cleaned out. There's something about your filtration system, how you've been filtering in these negative emotions that have either disempowered you or are no longer serving you. So you want to eradicate those so good things can be brought back into your life. Your mental perception depicts a lot of images in your life. A lot of the imagery that you see within your own life has a lot to do with the eyes that you're looking out from your soul with. So the perception that you have is vital to your life force, okay, as a Gemini. The Ten of Wands comes up further to clarify this perception in reverse. You have too many endeavors that you're trying, and that's such a Gemini trait. You guys try to be everything all the time for everyone, and it just seems like it's been accumulating, right? Accruing momentum, and maybe it's gone a little out of your hands. You're exhausting yourself, okay? And that's maybe why this perception is in reverse, because you might think you need to do this, you need to keep going, this hard work, and don't get me wrong, hard work is valuable, but at this point you're maybe running yourself a little thin, and you don't have enough time, capacity, space to do everything very well, right? When you try to do too many things, your energy is scattered over too many places. You're not becoming the master of anything at that point. A need to withdraw some of your energy, a need to squash some of the obligations you have is necessary. The Seven of Swords comes up next to clarify perception, and this is so you can understand the kind of reflection that needs to happen when altering your perception. Your perception is key your intention is key when getting in touch with a healthy perception and perspective. The Seven of Swords, if you look at this picture, you don't know whether he's stealing these swords or whether he's taking them to give to his comrades in battle, right? His integrity is up for question. When looking at your perception of life, it's pivotal that you look at the integrity you had during the moments that were most crucial in your decision making. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, I think we have some pretty integral, valuable, uplifting, honest, dignified decisions, reasons why, okay? So as you explore your failures, take them with a grain of salt. Know that even if the outcome wasn't desirable, that it's not the outcome that you need to judge. It's yourself and your own motives that are the things that you should judge, the aspects that you should judge about yourself, if you were to even go and judge yourself. So take a look at your reasons why. And I feel like you'll find this very compassionate part of yourself, okay? Outside this judgment, outside this cold perceptiveness of your failures and successes. Look a little bit deeper, right? Look a little bit deeper. Try to feel this instead. Feel your reasons why. Feel instead of just try to rationalize, okay? We need to really get grounded this month. You guys are being pulled up, okay, and into your mind, into your thoughts even more than usual. And we all know Geminis are fast. They're fast. They're thinkers. They're creators. They have their minds going at 1,000,000 miles an hour most of the time. And for those of us on the outside, we probably don't even realize, you know? So it's really important that your perception doesn't get out of hand. When you want to go into your past, do it with a grain of salt. Do it with a taste of compassion in there. 9 of Coins comes up, symbolizing that in your perception of your life, it is meant to be exactly yours. Okay, if you didn't make every decision the way the High Priestess really wants to be shown right now, if you didn't make decisions in exactly the way that you did, you could never say that your life is uniquely yours. And what this is a soul's riches, a soul's fulfillment, something very monetary as well, okay? This could speak of a closing and ending of certain ways that you've gone about things as well. Certain endeavors and how you would address them, you're addressing them a little bit differently now, okay? You're learning a little bit more about yourself and maybe realizing that this is not a race, it's a marathon, okay? And along the way, you get to pick up pieces that you love, and you get to have experiences that you enjoy, and at the end of the day, that's yours. That's valuable, okay? The High Priestess comes up in the very last place to further exemplify what exactly perception means to you this month. This is wisdom that's just beyond the veil. This is talking about coming to the High Priestess, right? The High Priestess is this all-knowing sort of a power, right? That holds such mystery and this esoteric vibe to her that is very in touch with her feelings and the world around her. She's highly in tune with the moon and different cycles of life. And if you come to this realization, which I believe you will, you'll realize that at the time of making any decision, at the time of, even as you watch this, you're realizing that you have really used all of your intuition and instinct while making these decisions, okay? And what lies next is just beyond the veil. Your perception, as much as it is in the tangible world, using your intuition and instinct, okay, which are otherworldly elements anyways, but applying those to the world has greatly benefited you at times. And in your perception, you need to realize that this is a strength. This is one of your strengths, okay? But it's not what meets the eye. It's something that's very introspective. It's something that is very internal, the process in which you do make decisions and in the process of how you do live your life. There is a great need to apply more of these dynamics in your life when making decisions and moving forward, because I feel a phase of yours is ending. A phase of yours is coming to a close, and maybe that's even this rigid, sterile, cold, intellectual way of going about things that require warmth, require compassion, require hunger, require strength. Not that the intellectual areas completely deny any of those aspects, but for some reason, I feel like Gemini has been operating from such an intellectual level that they're getting a little exhausted emotionally. They're getting a little worn down. And you can't just keep ignoring that when that happens. You can't just keep intellectualizing your way out of it. You've got to sit with it now. You've got to reason with yourself, okay, if it comes to that, and realize where you were wrong, realize what you could do differently, and start to integrate some of the different aspects that you realize you've been ignoring in order to gain momentum, in order to excel, in order to get that immediate result that Gemini crave. This is not going to be an immediate result. This is a marathon. Okay? So any loss that you've had in the past, anything that has thrown you off course or maybe made you doubt yourself, know that it's time to eradicate that. What you've done is irrevocable, right? You can't just, it's non-redeemable. You can't just go and change it. But what you can do is change your perception of it, and that will change everything, okay? Okay, the 9 of air comes up, so intellectual. As I'm giving this spiel of not being so intellectual, there is an intellectual influx in the middle of the month, okay, right as the new moon comes into on the 15th, okay, we're going to have an intellectual influx, okay, but the 9 of air doesn't speak of doing the same thing over and over again like we have been, but instead using your intellect in a very specific way, okay, and you guys really need this. Okay, so I hope this is helping you, because I know you guys need this. You guys are not trying to rationalize your emotions anymore. You realize that the intellect has a place and time, and the best place, the right place for your intellect to be when it's really healthy, when it's really balanced, and I do see that that's coming to you this month, this influx of really strong intellectual energy, is cultivating self-awareness. Where your intellectual energy is pointed at this month is not towards anything else but yourself. You are not trying to intellectualize your emotions. You are intellectualizing the habits that you've had. You are consciously becoming aware of your thoughts. You are consciously becoming aware of your breath, of your movement, of your actions, of your feelings. That's what intellectual energy is all about, awareness. As you breathe, you are aware. As you feel, you are aware. Okay, but that's the extent that the intellectual, rational mind should go, because as we get outside of ourselves with intellect, then we start trying to reason our way through life. And we know that can only get us so far. The 5 of Cups comes up to further clarify this intellectual energy by saying it's okay to feel. There's been a significant loss in the past, but it's only partial. You can continue to move forward. You can continue to feel if okay, there's kind of a consequence to this card saying there's been a partial loss, but if you don't stick with it, it's going to exhaust you. You've been through battle, okay? There's been spilled water, spilled emotions, and it's not going to do you any good to rationalize your way out of this one. You've got to sit with it. You've got to really feel, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to impede in your advancements. It's going to impede in your personal journey and exhaust you. One thing that I'd like to address before we get going on the other cards is the 9 of air was coupled with knowledge in reverse. And what is knowledge in reverse? It's ignorance. Okay, so again, just emphasizing that much more potently what this intellectual energy means. Doesn't mean you're going to go out there and be the smartest person in the world and everyone's going to applaud for you because you have rationalized your way through life's problems. That doesn't happen, Gemini. You are becoming distinctly different in the way that you process life. And that is powerful. Do yourself a favor and don't overexert yourself this month. When you feel something, when something from your past comes up, maybe, some of you are experiencing a loss in your life. Maybe some of you have experienced a loss in your life and you've been ignoring it, just kind of trudging through the mud and ignoring it and paving the way forward and not wanting to stop and breathe and feel. Do yourself a favor and do just that. Okay? This air energy is going to be on your side. It's connected to the universe. It is extremely spiritual, and it's going to be your new beginning. It's going to be the new you. It's going to revive your consciousness. It's going to revive your self-awareness and ultimately kindle these new opportunities that you thought were lost forever. Okay? It's giving you this sense of renewal, okay, within yourself. And it's guiding you towards a completely different direction. The King of Water comes up in reverse because there's been some stagnation and boredom, okay? Because maybe you have lacked self-confidence in the past. Maybe because you have had a significant loss. It's taken a while for you to really get your bearings. And a part of that, the consequence has been that the playfulness, the gaiety, the excitement, the vitality, the flow, it's taken a seat on the back burner. The King of Water is so powerful, okay? He goes with the flow, he is exciting, he's embracing, and he's very emotional, and he oftentimes makes decisions based on how he feels within him, within his heart. When your heart doesn't feel that there's a reason for exerting itself or for being here, then its light goes out. Okay? And we can't have your heart light go out. We just can't. So, the angels and your guides are definitely assisting you this month with whatever boredom, stagnation, wrong direction, or exertion that you've been feeling, leading to exhaustion, ultimately. The Ace of Wands, Seven of Wands, and Page of Wands, bam, are in your life. Towards the end of the month, you're going to be getting this influx of just serious material manifestation, just the clarity on the things that you want, first of all, okay, the things that you want to manifest, what you see going on in your future, but there's a renewed sense of passion along with it. There's this desire that has so been lacking from your life. There is just this potent desire and excitement to get started. And I don't know whether it's this a creative endeavor or just a renewed sense of self that allows you to have a refined clarity on what exactly you want to manifest. Because I sense a lot of you are just done with the chapter. You are so done with it. It just needs to be gone, right? You're closing doors. And before this can actually manifest, there's going to be the influx of energy. So that's important to remember in this month, is even if signs aren't manifesting, right, directly in this month, energy is fluid, and what you grab a hold of energetically this month, it will transfer or transform your month in June. But I do see there's this new beginning, and it's just a taste of it. So if you're aware, if you're conscious, right, aware, you will see the signs. Ace of Wands talks of a new beginning. Beautiful, passionate, creative endeavors are absolutely at hand. And maybe this is even an inclination to start something creative and passionate about whatever you are into, right? the things that really inspire you. You need them in your life. You've been stagnant for way too long. You have been putting others' needs before yours. You've been trying to handle way too much, and exhaustion has taken place. And when exhaustion takes place for a little too long, it can sometimes not even feel like exhaustion, but instead boredom and depression, right? So we need to light you up, Gemini. We need to light you up. You need to find something creative. You need to express yourself. And you need to go into it full force, because Ace of Wands speaks of an opportunity that is brief. So in the month of May, keep an eye out for something that's been calling you, something that's been nudging you, something maybe even, under the surface. You might not even have expressed this to anyone before, right? But it's this self-expression that is absolutely pivotal to your growth this month. And it's an opportunity that won't last forever. So take advantage of it. It's going to be fun. Seven of Wands comes up because this person has been under attack by 10 other wands, and he's coming down the stairs and he's facing it head on. He's unafraid. He's brave. And what you're doing is you're showing your bravery by self-expressing this month. You're showing your bravery by saying, I am no longer going to be stagnant. I am no longer going to sit in my reason and logic. It's time to move. It's time to express. It's time to gather, and it's pivotal to my self-expression. It's pivotal to my life force and sense of value, sense of worth in the world. I really sense this strongly for a lot of you. Okay, so Page of Wands comes up, and what the Page of Wands lacks in experience, she makes up for in enthusiasm. So a lot of you are going to be experiencing this newness, this new fresh idea that you've maybe never done before, but it's expounding your horizons. You may have to take up a course of knowledge, right? Learning something that you didn't know before. Practicing makes perfect, okay? But perfection is not necessarily what we're even aiming for. We're just wanting to incorporate some of that enthusiasm in your life again, okay? Because what I'm getting from you guys, it's very watery, very emotional. You're digesting it in an intellectual manner, in a very rational way, which is not getting down to what we need to get down to. We need to get down to the layers that Gemini has not been able to express, that has been creating so much of this disoriented feeling that I feel from you guys. So this creative expression is going to ignite you. It's going to feel great. Run with it, Gemini. Run with it, because where you are now, if you're dissatisfied with it, it's pivotal that you run with it. Okay, so the Five of Fire comes up, as well as Journey in reverse at the very end of the month. So as you have this sense of creative energy, you will be coming up against some obstacles. So just know that. This card speaks of conflict and resolution, of maybe being a little too stuck on certain past issues, right? And this looks like Gemini when they're angry, right? Just certain sides of themselves that don't stop because they're so critical, right? And they can be very critical when they're not paying attention to their intellectual side. But one of the things that I will say this card pertains to is some of you who have been in conflict with a partner, okay? Someone who has a heavy hand in your career, maybe even the outcome of a certain situation that has made you feel inferior. This is coming up for you to revisit this month, because this is another ideology, this is another perception that is based in the past, that is based in some kind of conflict that has arose or risen, so that you can better understand yourself. Because Gemini, when you guys are bored, you create conflict to just entertain yourself. And that speaks really loudly of the Geminis that I know, because if they're not playful, if they're not creative, if they're not inspired, they then find, or they then attract people who will give them something to do, who will give them something to think about, who will give them a reason to be inside their heads and have things going a mile an hour. So this playfulness is a self-reflective quality. This inspiration, this new beginning, the Ace of Wands, the Seven, and the Page of Wands is speaking of a realization that you have where there may have been some unhealthy endeavors that you have created. There may have been some unhealthy partnerships. There might be some unhealthy habits within your relationship if you're involved with a fire sign. Those aspects of Gemini need to be remedied, or else it's just going to keep coming up. So be creative, okay? Take yourself seriously. Take your passions seriously. And don't dwell on the failures or expectations that you've had involving partnerships or other people or even yourself, okay? Expectations should change all the time, okay? Your perception of your world changes all the time. Therefore, your expectations of your world should change all the time. Journey comes up again to further clarify that you guys have two sides of yourself, and if you pay only attention to one side, like the working side or the partner side or family side, there's bound to be some disconnect because you're not paying enough attention to yourself. You're not paying enough attention to your inner journey. You're not paying enough attention to your soul's hunger, right? So, to clarify, the Knight of Wands comes up with a Strength card in reverse, symbolizing that you may have been using your strength, but maybe in the wrong ways. Strength comes from potentially biting the bullet, right? Not engaging, not moving forward with conflict if it arises, not putting your energy towards drama. Instead, there might be this quiet arrangement that you can have within yourself that is okay with losing the battle, or it's okay with chalking it up to just your experience. You needed to learn a lesson and moving forward. Don't put too much of your effort into unfruitful endeavors, whether that revolves around a partnership endeavor, within your working relationship with someone, right? This is very much to do with your relationships you hold. So, again, this is what tells me you guys have the Knight of Wands for your inspiration. This is a good decision being made. This is something that is going to be fulfilling, as well as, very creative in its own right. So if you can, just squash whatever conflict is arising this month. If you can, realize that you've been putting a little bit too much of your time and energy into unfulfilling endeavors for you. You're going to be more fulfilled by your creative endeavors than your obligations this month, okay? And if you get bored, don't try to entertain yourself with drama or conflict. Instead, get in touch with what your soul is really wanting, and it's this emotional introspection, okay, that then is allowing you to express yourself in a more whole and vulnerable way. You don't want to be challenged all the time, and when you're bored, people will come to challenge you. When you aren't fulfilled, you will seek fulfillment in others, and at the end of the day, that will never fulfill you. So be very strong in your own right, and I wish you luck in May. I hope this helps. Definitely let me know if this resonates with you. Subscribe and like and share with your Gemini friends. I will see you in June, Gemini, and I wish you all the luck. Bye.